gong, mother. Good morning, everybody. There's no better way to start church than with the sound of a nice strong gong, right? I am, as you know on the bulletin, I am clearly not Reverend Malou. I am our piano person, Miss Monica, and I'm usually over there. But today I've been charged with leading us in our extravagant welcome. One of the reasons that we do an extravagant welcome here is to just make sure that everyone not only feels comfortable in our space, but to let you know that we see you. We see you and we love you just the same. And so we don't ever want you to come into our building, not on a Sunday, not on a random Tuesday, not on a Thursday or a Friday night, and feel like you don't belong here with us. So we will all rise as we are able and bring forth our extravagant welcome. And I think we're trying to be a little more eco-friendly, so if you'll just refer to your PowerPoint on the screen, you'll be able to follow along with me right nicely. I will be the voice of the one, and you all will be the voice of the many. And at the end, we will say the all in bold together. We are all welcome here.
Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and care of Mother Earth.
An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting and or believing, being depressed and full of joy.
We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers, striving to learn and embody the way of Jesus and other religious leaders.
Like Jesus, we focus on the plundered and the marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day.
One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story.
And together, we are all welcome here. And now I invite you to join us in our left hand of fellowship. We have coined that beautiful phrase after our beloved Reverend Dr. Nancy Leddens, who we recognize to be the very first transgender Roman Catholic priest. One of the reasons that we call it the left-handed fellowship is because Reverend Dr. Nancy Leddens was indeed left-handed. And the Catholic Church and the people around her really tried their best to make her right-handed. But her grandfather was the one who actually saw her and handed her things in her left hand. And so in an effort to keep individuality alive, in an effort to let everyone know that we see you and that we recognize you and accept you just the way we are, we do practice the left-handed fellowship. So go ahead, get comfortable, say hello to your neighbor. Please remember our realms of different touch needs, and we will continue with service shortly.
and why we should or should not, but that's not what this talk is about. Earlier this year, Miss Monica started us off talking about praise and worship. Amber, you were part of that. If you missed that praise and worship Bible study, you missed something powerful. My sister is an amazing teacher. She's an amazing teacher. So now, tell me 2 lessons, if you can think of 2, that you remember from Miss Monica's praise and worship study. If you can remember, give me just one then, that you can remember.
Worship's not always about singing.
That worship's not about singing. What's it about then? Praising the Lord too? Right. And worship invites us to do something special. It invites us to do what? To forget about ourselves and focus on who's most important, right?
Oh, yes.
Right. So now, when you're younger, praise and worship's a little different, isn't it? It's Chase and Anthony were like, yeah, church is great, but So then last weekend, we went to Winter Jam. And Winter Jam is a concert. If you guys, I don't know how many of you guys grew up with contemporary Christian music. I know I did. Like, I grew up with DC Talk and a bunch of other contemporary Christian bands. I see some heads nodding. You remember what that was like, buying things that sounded like music on the radio, but it was overtly Christian? So, but Winter Jam's like that. And they've been doing these concerts since 1995, believe it or not. It's been going back a while. And so, Anthony, Chase, Mr. Asher, myself, Miss Kiara, all of us, we went. And Mr. Micah, they're not here this morning. They're not feeling well. And Madison, right? And we all went to Winter Jam. We stood out in the cold for 2 hours to get in. Yeah. And the kids heard some interesting messages that night. First of all, remember what happened while we were waiting in line? What happened while we were waiting in line? Yeah, we did, but not the eating part. The other part. I mean, I was talking about Jesus outside. Right. Yes, there were people partying. But outside, we met some people who didn't quite do church the way Wedgewood does church. There were people out there with signs like, repent or perish, and all these things. No, it was, and I'm like, for a children's concert? This was weird. But, oh no, these guys are out there screaming and preaching, and not 2 feet away, what was there? Who was there sitting there not 2 feet away, Chase? While these people were screaming and preaching. Remember, who was sitting right beside the people who were screaming and preaching at us? No, there was a lady begging for what?
Oh, money.
That's right, there was a homeless person sitting not 2 feet from where these people were screaming at us about repent and turn away from this evil music. So serious. And the kids got a really interesting lesson in what the teachings of Jesus were about right then and what was most important. But then when we got inside the concert, that was the best part, right? And this is where I stopped talking because I want the kids to tell you what we learned at that concert. Chase, can you share 2 things? Can you share 2 things that you learned at the concert? It's okay, we're with family, man.
Faith, not fear.
But that's okay. Faith over fear. That's a big message. That's a big message. And what grade are you in, Chase? The 3rd grade, right? That's a big lesson to learn in the 3rd grade. And Anthony, what grade are you in, sweetheart? The 6th. And I know you wrote some stuff down. What you want to share with us? Come on, don't worry, you're with family. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna sit down. I want to learn. All right, here we go.
What I learned at the concert was real overcoming fear. Faith, not fear.
What's up? Tell us what you wrote down.
What I liked about the concert is that it was fun and positive. The best performance was all of them. But the one I loved the most was Lisa, because I liked her story. She talked about her best friend, and she.
You like Mendiza and what?
She had dresses, both her dresses with a black shirt, and I love her outfit. I like the new one because there was on the wheel and there was Dad on the drums, and one of the men on the drums, the wheel started spinning around.
He was still
drumming.
drumming.
He was still drumming.
afterwards, and that was amazing. But the messages that I want you guys to listen to and to share with the adults is that worship isn't just about singing, it's also a lifestyle. We have to give God thanks all the time. And we have to practice faith and not fear. And as Anthony said, be an overcomer, right? Staring in the faces. And it's even on Anthony's shirt. Show him, Anthony. Show us your shirt that we got at the concert. It's awesome. Be an overcomer. So, great job, guys. So that's what we're going to talk about when we move downstairs too, about how we're going to share more of the messages that we're hearing from music, okay? So we're going to go downstairs. Thank you guys for sharing this morning. Thank you.
So thankful for Reverend April. For those of you who are new, she not only was the teacher of the year for school, but for the entire school system. Yes, right. We're so blessed to have her teaching here and preaching at Wedgewood. We know that many people are here today, and there are things going on in your life or in the lives of those you love so much, and you may be just overwhelmed with life's events. So one of our practices each month is the lighting of candles. We encourage you, if you would like to do so, to come forward and to light a candle. You also have the opportunity to take the microphone and share with the congregation who you're lighting the candle for and what's going on. But you do not have to do that. But come forward now for the lighting of candles.
I'm lighting this candle for family, my family, all families.
So, this candle I'm lighting for the women and children of the world. It was a wonderful women's march yesterday. And for the first time, when I saw all those little kids that the families brought, I just thought, there's hope.
Eunice Baldwin, who I was actually went to college with, she taught me to be a bad, booty woman that I'm very proud of.
Now we pray as Jesus taught us to pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. We're a little strange here at Wedgewood. Unlike most churches, we want to be a church at which many people cannot put anything in the offering plate. You won't hear that in many services today, will you? But from what we can tell, Jesus hung out with the poor, and he didn't abuse the poor. And a lot of churches today abuse the poor. If you're here today and you cannot put anything into the plate, don't feel bad. Just know that we have downstairs what we call God's grocery store. Other churches call it a food pantry, but that just doesn't quite capture what it is. We call it God's grocery store, which is set up to not help people do good deeds. This is not about good deedism. This is about redistributing wealth. This is about redistributing wealth. It's helping the rich people get over themselves and to share so that everybody is fed. If you read the feeding stories that Jesus was involved in, everybody was fed and they had leftovers, right? Mm-hmm. So that's our goal here. So how do we pull that off? How do you do church that way? Well, one of the things we do is have people that have full-time jobs and they work at the church part-time. So we don't have full-time paid staff. The second thing we do is we try to monetize our property. And I'm happy to tell you that we are just about finished with our renovation for our kitchen. And we will be renovating, and we will be getting rent of $2,000 a month from our caterers, which will be extremely big for us. In addition to that rent, we will get rental of our renovated hall. You're going to see a major transformation of this garden area. It's going to be the Reverend Dr. Nancy Levin's garden. And it's going to be incredible. Wind chime tower, totem pole, 2 wind sculptures by this internationally known artist. Incredible Burden church bell that will be run at weddings and funerals. And we're going to be renting that space, this space, and the other garden, and that hall. And we hope to bring in $40,000 to $50,000 a year. But that's not enough to do church, and so we are very grateful for those of you who can give. We have $2,000 in the checking account. So, we're week to week, but we believe that we can continue doing an incredible ministry here, and we thank you in advance for all of your gifts. There is a text to give number. We also say at Wedgewood that everybody can't give, but everyone can fundraise. So we believe so much in what we do here. We're not hesitant to ask other people to give to our mission and our vision. So thank you so much, and I'm going to ask the two of you if you'll break off. At least if you want to give the old-fashioned way.
So I
Bible for the singing of our doxology, found in your red chalice hymn books on page 47 or in front of you on your PowerPoint screen. Praise God from whom the saints flow. Praise God, all regions here below. Praise God above heavenly hosts. Creator Christ, now Holy Ghost. Amen. You may be seated.
So, Luke 3:10 through 11. This is John speaking. The crowd asked John, "Then what are we supposed to do?" John said, "You have 2 coats, give one away, and do the same with your food." You're next.
Okay, that was quick.
Then I come back, right? Yeah.
I was, okay. Yes, can we say amen together? Amen. Yes. It's time to say goodbye for now. Whatever second time around. Before you go, there's something I'd like to say. Everything's not what it seems. There's a stronger force behind the scenes. It's in our life every day. He's right there when we call. In Him is where our strength lies. I lift my eyes beyond the sky, and only He can sing my life, and only He can hear me cry. I wanna make it all, give me one more chance to raise my voice and sing your praise. Sing it out loud, sing it all day. This song is my prayer. To only you, I know I can't compare for the things you gave me your love, you gave me your son. Don't believe. Sometimes it's very hard to see. We live this whole life every day. Some things don't go your way. But to be stuck on His will, there's cattle on the 1,000 hills, and it's all yours to claim. Let's claim them in this holy land. You don't have to beg. Oh, His gift is everlasting love. Just come to rescue us. I will give you love and give me one more chance to
That's what I get for not reading the bulletin that Chris sent me. All right, I'm going to set myself a timer because I've been told that there will be mockery if anything goes over 20 minutes. And I hear Vicky's the one that doles that out, so definitely don't want that happening. So, we live in like crazy times, right? I kind of have to stop watching the news after about 10 minutes because I just get enraged. And one of the things that really got me going this week was a commerce secretary saying, how is it that people can't just go get a loan? So, yeah, and I was like, no, this is The Onion, this is Saturday Night Live, there's no way this is real. Oh no, it's real. And I started to realize that income inequality is this ball of racism and inequality that, yes, racism is a huge problem, but this is the problem at the top because they're trying to distract us. They want us to fight with each other like, why do you make more money than me? I went to college longer than you. Who cares? What matters is that we get a livable wage, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I couldn't believe my eyes, this guy. Am I surprised anymore? No. To quote the great Clark Griswold from Vacation, Eddie, if I woke up with my head stapled to the carpet, I wouldn't be surprised, right? That's the point at which we are in this country. And again, I think we're in an alternate universe, something crazy happened. How did we get here? And you know, I want to call it the fact that, yeah, here I am, I'm a cisgender, white, heterosexual male in America. I have privilege. How do I put that to good use, right? Like, I just want to call it out. I grew up in a middle-class family. I was given these bootstraps, as it were. You've heard this, right? This is the new, and we'll get into this. This is what I like to call the economic racist. They're not really like, you know, let's go to a Klan rally racist. They're just the, well, those people should be able to do what I was able to do because everyone's got equal opportunity. Yeah, wrong. Spoiler alert, wrong. But yeah, I want to call that out, but I also want to see like, hey, guys, I like making money. I don't know about you. Every Friday or every other Friday, I love watching my paycheck go to all my bills and, you know. But how do we put this to good use, right? Like, we have this, some of us here have this privilege. How do we work together? So this pull yourself up by your bootstrap is really just a great, slyly racist statement that people are trying to package together. But the bigger problem behind it is not that they're saying, you know, this is based on color of skin. This is actually, if you don't have money or privilege, it's totally your fault, and nobody else's. Now, this is how they divide us. Now, when I talk about the wealthiest 1%, actually, the wealthiest people in the world are actually very philanthropic, right? So Bill and Melinda Gates have done amazing things, especially in Africa around AIDS and other, you know, emerging diseases. You know, the Paul Allens of the world, the Tim Cooks, the George Soros, the Warren Buffett. These are the face of the wealthiest 1%, right? Those are literally the top 10 wealthiest people in the world. Those aren't the people we're worried about because they're actually doing good things. It's all these other people behind the scenes, and I'm not saying there's like some, you know, horrible conspiracy, but it's working. They're dividing us, right? They're getting us to look at each other and I'm better than this person. And we're not. We're all in this together. Unless you're making hundreds of millions of dollars a year and you're in this room, we're all considered labor. We make someone else money. We go to work every day. In return, we get a paycheck. Is it always fair? Sometimes. Could it be more fair? Yeah. You know, sure, Jim Crow's gone, right? But really, it's not. We have a prison industrial complex now. I highly recommend reading the book if you want to be depressed. The New Jim Crow. It's an amazing, amazing expose on how, sure, we got rid of those laws, but now we just block people up on nonviolent offenses. And other things. I have the ability to walk down the street, get hassled by the police, and walk away alive. Not everyone gets that, right? And the thing is, and here's the amazing trick that people that regurgitate this, and a lot of this is the media, right? It's this, here we are, let's somehow get lower income white people who are actually poorer than a lot of other folks, let's get them to totally buy into our package. If you just follow us, we'll make you wealthy. Meanwhile, we're going to cut all your jobs, send all your stuff overseas. And so this conservative mindset, and it's the biggest trick in the book. Somehow they got people that are actually directly impacted by these poor policies to totally buy into their garbage. It's like we're living in an alternate universe here. And to be honest with you, I used to be one of those people too. I was never, again, not like, never racist, but I was I worked hard to get here, right? Like, this is my favorite. My grandparents came here. They brought themselves up, and my parents worked hard. It's like, yeah, but your grandparents had a choice to come to this country, right? Not everyone's ancestors had a choice. There was a boat involved, not a good boat, right? Yeah. And honestly, I used to be that person. I used to be, I'm the cool white guy, libertarian, right? Like, I'm not quite conservative, but I'm not quite liberal. I'm going to go over here in this little corner where everybody should be helping themselves. Because that's not really racist, except it really just ends up being that way. And I ended up just, hating everyone, and it was horrible. And then what changed me was, and I will make a huge plug here for anyone to get involved in the foster care system. So when I was 26 years old, my then wife and I decided American girl living in my house. So you'd think, yep, there we go, problem solved. Dave's all on the right path. He's totally liberal, right? Like, no more racist stuff. It didn't really change because I'd grown up around all kinds of people. I've lived in Mexico. I've been all over South America. I had friends from every walk of life. But nothing changed in my views until I watched Becca go out into the real world as a young African-American woman and try to make it on her own. Yeah, that doesn't work. So here's the kind of the logic. And we all know this friend, this neighbor, this coworker. And we probably at this point are so tired of it, we just ignore them. We're like, don't talk politics around Scott, because here we go again, right? These are the people who can't understand how someone can't just go get a job. Because remember, they grow on trees. They don't want to contribute to things like public transit. So one of my favorite things about public transit is, I ride public transit, love it, it saves so much money. And I get to just zone out for an hour, right? It's great. I don't have to deal with Charlotte traffic. Oh, yeah. Anyway, God bless. But there's also this racist undertone that I've heard many times, I don't know that I want the light rail coming out to my neighborhood, because poor people will get on there and come commit a crime, or they'll go to their jobs and be able to, right? But this is this thinking that, again, most of these people aren't like, yeah, I'm a racist. They're like, no, I just want to not necessarily have more crime, and they put this under the guise of crime, which is complete garbage. Who gets on a light rail to actively go commit a crime? I'm sure it happens, right? But we haven't really seen it happen yet. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And the worst part is that these people call themselves Christians.
Oh.
Yeah. There's part of me that's like, maybe you should just read the letters that are in red. Those Bibles have Christ. Start there. Just start there. See if that changes you. But what the sad thing is, this doesn't change people. That's the part that frustrated me about all this, right? And I'm not coming up here to say I have a solution to it. I have some ideas. How do we change these people? And like I said, I had to see this firsthand of, oh wow. Yeah, you have to go to college to get a job, and then you have to have a car to get a job. But you can't get a car without a job. But you can't get a job without a car. And so you just end up repeating this cycle. And this was about 10 years ago. I just finally woke up and realized this. I was like, wow, okay, I gotta do something about this. This is the new Jim Crow. This is what we've done as a society, is we've slowly defunded things like mental health and public transit
and just all the social programs. I mean, we can't even pay our federal workers right now, which apparently that's partially over, but, you know, what's next? 3 weeks. Oh, okay, great, 3 weeks. Yeah. Meanwhile, you know what's going to change that is when the wealthy don't get their tax returns. That's when people, you hit that pocketbook, right? When they hit that easy file and they realize, whew, it's been a month now. Yeah, because of the way that you voted. I said in my testimony before, Frank Schaefer made a really good point that these are the people who live next door to you and the good God-fearing people. And if your child had a problem and they needed to go somewhere, that would be a safe place for them to go. But these same people, you don't want them going to the voting booth. In fact, you want them to stay home because the way they vote is atrocious. But they're good people, right? Or are they? So voting is super important. I can't talk about that enough, right? And as we're seeing now, apparently Republicans can't win without cheating. I don't know what's going on in North Carolina, 9th district or whatever it is. Oof. Again, are we living in an alternate universe here? Like, this is absolutely crazy. And so, I don't know how we change people, but I know that I changed because I saw this experience firsthand. And then it really opened up, because then once you see it, you go, oh, now I'm seeing it everywhere, right? So what do? I love that everyone can't give money, but everyone can fundraise. And I always think about that, and I really appreciate what you said this morning, Chris. You know, I've spent my life in churches where it's, how much can we pay the pastor? How much can we, stuff can we buy? My friend is here. We've been to these churches. So I really appreciate that explanation. It means a lot, but what do? So we're helping the homeless, right? So that check, got the PB&Js and the packs, right? So that's good. But then we have our working poor, which is a whole other, which is a lot of people, right? So I ride public transit, and you see people around there that they're going to their third job, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Right. That's ridiculous. I'm over here working 70 hours a week myself. Like, how would you have, and you realize that people are stringing these jobs together just to make ends meet. And then, so I went through an experiment with my daughter, Rebecca, and I said, well, let me go and figure out how to get you on welfare. Okay, so I have a master's degree. I'm by no means a slouch. Just not the smartest guy, but I'm a hard worker. Spent about a month on the phone trying to get SNAP and all that good stuff, Medicaid. Guys, I spent the last 10 years in healthcare. I know healthcare like the back of my hand. I couldn't figure out Medicaid. And I've been working in it for 10 years. I couldn't figure out this system. And then I looked at Section 8, and that's a whole mess. And it's a lottery. And you can't just get a place. Like, how does everyone not know about this? Oh, wait, a lot of people do. But here I am, white guy, I did a good job, But it really opened me up. I saw this, and I was like, okay, now my goal is, because, hey, who don't like making money, right? I want to make as much money as I can, but how can I help people? And not just like, just go dump money at the problem. That's what I can't stand. People just $1 million over here. Well, where does that money get used? No. Like, I got a marketable skill. I can help people with their resumes. So the library, right? We always thought the library was going to go extinct. Well, the library is now a job resource center. Who goes there to check out books anymore? I mean, I do because I'm old. But it's a job resource center. How do we help people find better jobs? Like, that's a simple thing. I'll always pitch this. Become involved in the foster system. By the way, you don't have to be a foster parent to be involved. They need guardian ad litem's. Those are people who go on behalf, you don't have to be a lawyer. Go on behalf of these kids. These kids, we can get them ahead of time and set them up for success. We can actually give them bootstraps. And that said, so, how do we better serve the working poor? And I'm asking this question. I'm not coming up here saying, here's what we're going to do. You know what they teach you in Bible college, right, Chris? In preaching, you got to have an action item at the end. I don't have an action item other than to ask the question, like, what can we do as a family to help? And is there anybody here that we can help? Like, we had the new visitors dinner at your house a couple months ago, and at the end, I really liked that you were like, all right, this has all been fun and great. We've been eating really good food. By the way, the food was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to have the next one. I'll just keep showing up as a visitor. How do we, and you came to us with, how do we make a bigger difference in the community? That's what we're doing already, and a lot of great ideas came out of that. So how do we continue this conversation? How do we, racism is there, and it's horrible. I don't see it going away anytime soon. But income inequality is the hierarchy of these problems, right? And I'm not out to make the wealthy as all bad. Trust me, they're not. I hope to be wealthy someday. That'd be awesome, right? Because then I could actually help as many people as I want. That'd be super. Because the biggest irony of that statement, bootstraps, is that you Google it, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Actually, so physically, there's no way to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That makes no sense. The origin of the phrase was, this is absurd and nonsensical, and no one would ever do this. But somehow, these people that have been duped into voting in a very conservative manner and thinking, well, they're just lazy, they've somehow adopted this phrase. And there's just a whole bunch of irony around this phrase, right? It literally means the opposite of what they think it means. But this is how disconnected from reality they are. Now, we can complain all day about, what's broken in the system, but I like to think of, again, what can we do? And I'm asking that to us. And I'll end today, with that question of what can we do even further? What, are there people, again, I just think of things like helping people find a job. That's a huge piece, because I'm a hiring manager. I see resumes all day. It's pretty bad. And unfortunately, a lot of good people get overlooked, right? Because now we've automated the whole job search process. A lot of times you can't get even into the queue, and you have to know somebody. And so how do we, those of us that have any type of privilege, how do we reach down and help these folks? Thank you.
Thank you.
And I was 4 minutes under. Just mark that.
Dave, your words are not only inspiring, your life is. And this is a sermon that continues. And so what we're charging you to do is to talk to Dave, to talk to me, to talk to co-pastor Malou, talk to anyone here. What is it that we can do? This is one of the things about our model of church is we do it humbly. There's no one perfect way of doing church. But we try to get out of the way of people that want to do good. We're not going to ask you to sit into 20 committee meetings and wear you out with that. We want to get to the good sooner. So let's continue with this sermon. What announcements do you have?
I guess I'll go first. Good afternoon, everybody. My announcements are music affiliated. Firstly, our next choir rehearsal is going to be Saturday. Our Saturday choir rehearsal is going to be February the 9th at 12:30 p.m. and it will end at 2 p.m. Yes, we will still continue to have our 10 a.m. Sunday morning worship rehearsals, but this will be our next add-in rehearsal. So choir, make sure you have that. In addition, choir, it's time for us to have some fun and have our social. So I am the host. Me and my partner AJ are the hosts for our next social, and that's going to be Sunday, February the 17th after church. So Sunday, February the 17th after church. And that will be for all existing choir members. Unfortunately, my apologies, I don't have the space to make room for potential new choir members at this time, but hopefully we'll be able to do that on our next social. So February the 9th for rehearsal, 12:30 to 2, and then Sunday, February the 17th at 3 o'clock. So we all got that, choir? Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Betsy, when's our next peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Today. As soon as we get out of service.
As soon as we get out of service.
Downstairs. We need all the help we can get.
These sandwiches will be made, they will be delivered downtown at 3 p.m. and there's a walk downtown where you can join other people handing out other food. No questions asked. We just find people on the street that look like they might like to have some food. We do that every other week. Now, also downstairs in the choir room at 10 a.m. this morning, we put together what we call care kits for
people who are begging at street intersections. So rather than give money out that we're not sure how that'll be used, we just put together little care kits. So pick those up and hand those out this week. We've got about 15 of those. Now put down on your calendar March the 2nd. You're going to, it's a Saturday at 7 p.m. We're going to dedicate our new hall. Yes, yes. Monica will be singing, performing. Ashanti will be singing, performing. By the way, did you know that Ashanti made the top 20 soul chart for the United Kingdom? Yeah, yeah. So we do have to have an RSVP, and it has to be in by February the 15th. Your evening will be free, but we are hiring the caterer to fix a certain amount of money. I mean, certain amount of food, and we're also inviting. They have a client list of about 500 people, 52 of whom will be invited that evening. And if they reserve the hall, they'll get a 10% discount. So we're introducing the community to the hall and also celebrating. So it's going to be wine, yes, Jesus drank wine, and heavy hors d'oeuvres.
What's the date again?
That's March the 2nd. And you RSVP by sending me a note to my email, and I'll have that. It's on some of the printed bulletins. I'll also have this on our Facebook page.
And let me reiterate with you, Chris, that even though this event is happening at church, this is not what we would call a sacred event. So both myself and Ashanti will be performing our secular sets, since we both perform professionally in the Charlotte area. So make sure that you don't come. You can always come with Jesus on your mind, but know that we're going to be having some wine and some other things to help us celebrate.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. And, and I kind of think that's all sacred too. So one of the other things we're looking forward to is the caterer. People will pay for 100 meals, and only 90 people will show up. And so what are you going to do with this leftover prime rib? So you'll be coming here on Sunday, and people who are having trouble making it during the week, you'll be able to go over to our refrigerator and just pull out prepackaged leftovers, that prime rib and other things. So Jesus fed a lot of people, and that's one of the things we're doing new. Other announcements. Okay, I think, no, I'm sure. For our benediction, if you'll start that music, I'm sure that God wants us to be happy. And I know God wants us to be happy, particularly if you're one of the people that people have tried to steal your happiness because of who you are. So have a happy day. Amen.
Amen.